Sal and I had a limo, and he took the big, bus with, tequila wasn't the only thing that was going down everybody's throat, but it was quite an interesting gathering. But I mean, I could have one of these every hour, but it wouldn't be enough for you. I've been doing this almost 24 years and 47 years on my own. I think the webinars are a waste of time, really. I do, personally. Why do I think they're a waste of time?
Because they cover only this.
No! Because you're living vicariously off somebody else's success. Jesus Christ. Are you thick? Yes, you are thick. What he did doesn't mean shit. Because, who was Henry Cooper knocked Muhammad Ali when he was Cassius Clay on his ass in the 7th round of their fight in 1965. So what? That was Henry Cooper knocked him on his ass, not you. You can watch that fucking film 1,000,000 times. It was Henry Cooper that knocked Cassius on his fucking black ass. That's why I never thought of doing webinars until the last couple years, and all you guys just fucking love them. We're gonna talk to Teddy. They got him. He would have taken a helicopter up here. He didn't give a shit. He's big now. He's a prince of. He's like the Prince of Thieves, the king of the gypsies. I mean, you'll see this after, because this will probably be published after he's up here. He's going to talk to us tomorrow afternoon. They got gypsies in Bulgaria, right?
A lot.
Yeah, okay. Well, he could go back and be the king of the gypsies. But you heard it from the YouTube guys. We just did one of my mentees. Who, as we spoke, didn't plan it this weekend, had a $31 million check in his hand. As we spoke, didn't know that at the time, but it just happened. But somebody's getting some check. I mean, not every minute of the day, but certainly maybe not even every day, but certainly every week, somebody's funded something. And it should be, after all these years. Jesus Christ. Have I just been pissing in the wind all my life, for you fucking melon heads? So what was the takeaway about Simon?
Patience.
And he's not a very patient guy, which is the irony of all this. But he's not a very patient guy. Yeah, I mean, but at some point in time, he either had to push the deal to get it done, or you jump off his penthouse.
You can't try to do it.
Yep.
It is hard to find the right people.
What have I been saying? It's going to be, yes, it's hard. Kyle, yes. And don't give me YouTube about Hitler. Please, fuck you, YouTube. Don't give me this shit about Hitler. Yes, it is hard. If this was easy, they'd be on the corner like Starbucks. Is there anything in my material that tells you it's easy? Then why are you looking at me like this? I go out of my way to tell you it's hard. I go out of my way to the fucking melonheads. Don't come to the seminar, you fucking morons, retards. So you have a penchant for pain, and there are people that have come here because of that. I mean, you like a good fucking beating. Well, you came to the right goddamn place. I think you came to the only place left for a good fucking beating that you can get a good fucking beating anymore. There used to be a thing called EST back in the 60s and 70s. And I've never been to an EST, but they all say that they think I'm a former EST trainer. You weren't allowed to go to the bathroom. You just shit and paste your pants. That was it. When women went on and had their menstrual cycle, it's just uglier and uglier. You can't imagine what it was like. I never went to one, but I've met with people that they say you could have been the head S instructor. You cry, you get punched in the face. Literally. And I miss that. Fuck. You know, I could have done that easy, no problem. You got a question out here?
Yeah, I want to say something.
Okay, well, say something.
The key is to be willing to sacrifice everything.
Correct. I told you that from the beginning. That's always the key. Failure's not an option. I mean, your parents allowed you to fail, didn't they? Yeah. And they said, it's all right, honey. You didn't really need that anyway. The best parents you had would do better next time. But most of them didn't even tell you, did you go do better next time? Because they didn't want you to fail again. Because they loved you. Like I say, if love and nurturing from a mama like her got the job done, you sorry cunts wouldn't be here. If sucking on that tit got the job done, you wouldn't be here. Now, the joke is in my family that I breastfed till I was 9 years old, which is not true. But love doesn't get the job done, guys. I wish it did. But, and I mean, he has, it's not my position to tell you all his trials and tribulations and problems. I mean, but it sounds like it's a fucking soap opera. I mean, it's all the shit that's happened to him in his life. I mean, the worst, this is a slight Trumpism. The worst case in his room, it's like a fairy tale compared to his. But that's what made him tough. That's one of the reasons he's tough. Tough as shit that he is. But he's my tough as shit. What else? Any other takeaways from him? Success story.
It ain't easy to find a QT.
No, it's not. Part of the challenges for you kids and the kids on YouTube is you wouldn't know a good deal if it bit you in the balls or in the clitoris. You wouldn't know a good deal. You don't know what a good deal is. And this moron, this fucking beanpole back here, I mean, he's brain dead. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But that's with all the shit that you've read. You wouldn't know a good deal if it bit you in the balls. And that's why 95% of all transactions that go up for sale, worldwide, don't sell for a combination of one, they're asking for too much money because they're trying to get rich on one transaction, and two, it's a shit deal. It's a shit deal for the buyer. You would know, And nobody teaches you what a good deal is. I can smell a good deal in a millionth of a microsecond. And although I'm going to hold my final opinion, but reading through all your papers, with the exception of Michael refining his deal, there are no good deals in this room. But that's not unusual. There are never any good, well, not never, that's an exaggeration. Because you structured it from what you've been taught, but more importantly, you structured it to what you hoped. You hope this is a good deal. Is it your only deal or your best deal? As Balmer said the other night in our Oxford tape. It's not your best deal, it's your only deal. And it's might be currently the deal that you're working in, so you're hoping it's the deal. And 99 times out of 100, it's not. It's not. The two or three things that he's looking at, he's talking about hospitals. Hospitals aren't easy either. but it's not like this. He's not going to be going back to governments. I mean, when the government changes, except for government funding, but he can roll up hospitals by government funding. Not government funding. Anything else about his deal? Yes, sir.
He has said that he would go to healthcare or telecommunication.
Correct, which is the thing I've been saying for 35 years to everybody. If you listen, most people don't listen. But same thing I told Rick Scott in 1986, 7. Healthcare, and now healthcare, telco is split with the internet, and healthcare you have to be more careful if you're an American, because you don't. We have to see how President Trump is going to dismantle healthcare, Obamacare. So that's the only caveat now. Healthcare, telco. Nobody wants to die in the healthcare sector. That's just it. I mean, they continue to build hospitals, they continue to do this, they continue to do all that stuff, because nobody wants to die. 75% of all the money that you'll spend on healthcare is spent the last year that you're alive. 50% of that 75% are spent the last 120 days you're alive. And a third of that are spent the last 45 days that you're alive, because you don't want to die. So you could keep narrowing it. I mean, okay, what can you roll up that is spent the last 10 days of life? I can tell you right now without even going to do Google fucking. Roll that up, but I mean somebody's already been there, done that. And telco just keeps getting bigger through the internet, bigger. And new technology it's return on the minute, not return on investment. I mean, shit that they started this morning is obsolete by next week. That's why you can just keep, not in the sense of rolling up e-commerce like some of you think you're going to do. That's bullshit. You can't do that. Because there's no barrier to entry. But we'll get into that when we come. But we'll only spend very few hours on that because it's not worth talking about. What we're talking about is picking up the motherfucking phone and finding a chairman. That's the first thing. We have kids that have never been here that say, I just closed my first deal, I just did this, and my chairman left me, my CEO stole my deal. I mean, I get that shit all week. We had one recently that I think I told you. The CEO, the COO, and the CFO all ran with the deal and fucked him in the ass. And if that scares you so much it keeps you from doing it, I'll be with you. Anything else about Simon? Y'all look like deers in the headlights. It's the same in Bulgaria, but Teddy thinks it's easy. Fuck. I would have left Bulgaria with $4 and a t-shirt on my back 5 years earlier if I had known it was this fucking easy. By the way, YouTube, everybody that comes from these third world, former Eastern Bloc countries have the same story. They're left with €5 and a t-shirt on their back. Okay, YouTube, we'll talk to you later.